A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another daily political briefing with me, your host, Quentin R. Giles, here on the Q with Q. I am so thankful that you all decided to join me this evening. As you all know, yes, I am still on vacation. I'm in Cabo. I can hear the mariachi band outside, and so after we finish talking and I get you all caught up and we dialogue, I'm gonna definitely go out there and see what the people are talking about. But we're here because so much has happened today. Before we get into everything, let's just lay some ground rules. You all know how I feel. Dissent, not disrespect, right? Dissent, not disrespect. What we want is for everyone to be able to say how they feel, especially in the comments. Whether you agree or not, that is cool, but we definitely do not want to be using harmful language or denigrating language in our dissent. Also, shout out to the people that are listening on the podcast right now. Shout out to the people that are watching on YouTube. Shout out to my Patreon people as well. If you're on YouTube, there is a feature called Super Stickers and Super Chat. Some of you all have done them already before on the previous lives, and I thank you and I appreciate you. That is a way for you to be able to pour into me. If you all do a super comment, your comment will pop up on the screen for all of us to see, and we'll be able to dissect that and work through whatever it is you're talking about. And if you put a super sticker up, then I'm going to post those super stickers as well. Thank you so much. For those not watching or not participating on YouTube, there will be a moment in the show where I put my other information if you'd like to support me by helping me to continue to do this thing full time. Even though I'm out on vacation, I'm still working. This is my job, and the way I get paid is by your help. People funded, baby. I'm funded by the people. We love to see it, love to hear it. Okay, let's get into some things. Because so much has happened, even in the last 10 minutes before I even came on the live. I just posted a video on Instagram where I was talking about Wayne County in Michigan, where Detroit is Detroit, Michigan is in Wayne County, where the certification of the election was being blocked by a 2-2 vote. Based on quote unquote voting irregularities and things like that. And I would just call a thing at this point. Like, I don't know why y'all keep coming at black cities. Y'all was mad at Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia. Y'all was mad at Philly, Philadelphia. Now you're mad at Detroit. Why? We don't want Trump. Deal with it. Quit telling me how much you love America and love democracy, and yet Trump and his allies, or people that want to be an ally, keep trying to subvert democracy. Keep trying to put their scale on the thumb as opposed to allowing us, the voters, to exercise our free will in voting. There are literally countries where people do not have this right. And time again, I'll just say Trump and Trumpists and his allies love to talk about how we're the greatest country in the world. Well, let her process go through, okay? Let it play out. Well, I made that video, I think, like 10 minutes ago. Like, as soon as I uploaded it, I hear down on the TV that those two Republicans, I guess it was what was it? I didn't even write it down. Anyway, those two canvassers, that's what it was. It's two Republican canvassers and two Democratic canvassers that are supposed to vote to certify the election, but the two Republican canvassers decided no, so it was a deadlock, which meant that the vote certification was going to go to a state board. But right when I posted that video before I came on the live, they decided to reverse that, and now they voted unanimously, probably because the public pressure was building in the sense that there is no real fraud. There is nothing real about what they were saying or what they were trying to propagate to allow President Trump to have a soundbite, or Trumpists, which are, I call, those are the Trump supporters, to go out and just continue to make these false allegations and these false claims, stirring up nothing. Maybe this is an effort, to continue to fund the Trump Stop the Steal campaign, where we talk about where they're basically baiting and switching Trump supporters and taking their money when a good amount of that money is not even going to recount the vote or to these litigations or lawsuits that are in the court to potentially overturn this election. So I'm just not understanding. shout out to Amanda. We got our first super comment of the night. Okay, hey, how you doing, sis? We glad to have you. Glad for you to be here. So I'm just like, I'm very over it. I'm very much over it. I think that they just need to stop. Just stop so we can move on with our democracy. Joe Biden will be the president. Kamala Harris will be the vice president. And it is what it is, niece. Get over it. Stop subverting democracy. Like, it's just too much. It can be a tad bit too much at times. So let's get into today's show, because that kind of threw me, because I'm like, wait, that's not even... it's not even what I had planned on talking about today, but okay. But in other news earlier, that isn't a part of the show, we found out that Trump fired via tweet the director of cybersecurity and infrastructure security in our country. His name is Chris Krebs. And he fired him because Chris Krebs came out and basically was the one that said this was the most secure election in the American history. Came out and said it, obviously pushing back on Trump's false claims. I don't even know if I want to say pushing back, because it wasn't as if I think that he was saying it in direct contrast to Trump, or like Trump said this, then he said it. He was asked the question, he threw it out there, because it was. Because they worked overtime to ensure that it was. So he fired him today via tweet, which is interesting, because Trump then tweeted and said that he fired him because basically his statement was wrong. But yet and still in the court, you can't give us any proof to that. You can't show any proof of voter fraud. All you can do is try to go after black cities, which that has been overturned, which we talked about a little bit earlier, and say that they're voting fraud or voting irregularities. But you can't show us the proof when the judge in the courtroom, hey, come on, the judge in the courtroom asks for proof, and y'all don't have no proof. Y'all don't have no evidence. Y'all don't have nothing. Y'all wasting the judge's time. You wasting our time. Okay? And you're wasting the world's time, really. You're really wasting the world's time. Everybody that is not American, we sorry. We are sorry to all our allies, even the enemies across everybody in the world. We are sorry that we put this man in office. That was our bad. Now, y'all know I didn't vote for him. I know a lot of y'all didn't vote for him either, but I always say we, because we are still Americans, right? And the American electorate voted for this man in 2016, even though there was Russian interference and all the other stuff. He's been the president for 4 years. We sorry, okay? We apologize. We gonna try to do better. Well, we will do better, but we are sorry, okay? We didn't know. We didn't know it was gonna be this bad. I think we thought it was gonna be bad, but we didn't know it was gonna be this bad. So we sorry. We real sorry. Let's, excuse me, let me get a little bit of water. That's not Corona now. That's not the COVID. Oh, what? You know, I just get a little excited and got choked up, but that ain't COVID. Breathe in, breathe out, not COVID. So let's move on. So one thing that made me clutch my pearls earlier today, when I saw this, so when I actually heard it, was centered around Joe Biden. And the only thing I caught was about like how he didn't want Trump to be prosecuted, you know, once he was president. And I said, now hold on, now wait, what? Oh, no, baby. We want, well, I'm not going to say we want prosecutions. We want investigations to the criminality of it all, because we know laws have been broken. If nothing else, Michael Cohen came out and Trump is named individual number 1 in his court case. Michael Cohen, the only one that went to jail for that. No. We want investigations. Now, we definitely want criminal referrals to still be looked at. We definitely want whatever sitting over there at the FBI and the CIA and the counterintelligence investigation and the things that Robert Mueller did not look into, such as Trump finances for the Russia investigation. Oh, no. We want all those things. We want all those things. So I was like, Joseph Biden, don't make me have to, now we've been rocking with you. Now we didn't want to vote for you to begin with. Now, what are you doing? What are you doing, Joseph? Then I had to go back and listen. I think my emotions got a little, you know, when I heard Trump, prosecution, Joe Biden, no, and everything got jumbled, and I was ready to jump. It's not what Joe Biden said. So if you had heard anything like that, this is what he was actually saying. What he was saying was that he doesn't want his presidency to be dominated by Trump prosecutions, because if some of this stuff pops up, one, the Twitter gonna be on fire if Twitter chooses not to delete Trump. That's one. We know that. And 2, we're always going to be talking about it, right? Because we've lived with this man for 4 years. So we're going to be talking about, this every time a new allegation comes up, there are suits for defamations that tie into sexual assaults and accused rape that we're still waiting on. There are tax cases in New York with our good girl Letitia James, the Attorney General in New York, and Cyrus Vance. Okay, Cyrus, who was whooping him up at the Supreme Court earlier this year around his tax returns and all of that. So those court cases are going to come about. What Biden was saying was he doesn't want his presidency to be dominated by that. And that's okay. You don't have to. You can keep doing whatever it is you need to do. You just need to appoint nominate an attorney general. Okay, hello, nominate an attorney general that will go after crimes if crimes have been committed. That's it. We're not asking you to just go off into a political witch hunt. We're asking that if crimes was committed, that they be investigated and taken to the judge or to the jury, and you let those people decide. That's if crimes is being committed, which we've seen before. You got emoluments clause issues that need to come about. We still need to investigate why you gave Jared Kushner a security clearance when the FBI and them wouldn't give him one. Like, there are legitimate concerns and legitimate things to investigate surrounding Trump, this presidency, this administration, his business, like legitimate stuff. So nobody, you yourself don't have to worry about it. You go on down. He said he wants to focus on coronavirus. We want you to do that as well. We need you to do that. So yeah, you do that. You get the task force together. If the vaccines become available, I don't know how I feel about the vaccines, but if the vaccines become available, you get those things, and you go ahead and get it out to the public. But you let the Attorney General and the other people in Congress investigate whatever it is they need to investigate. So in the stream of investigations yesterday, some of you all were in the comments. I saw, and if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at your comments right here. Yesterday, I didn't speak about it, but y'all were blowing up the comments about Lindsey Graham and what he was done. I didn't speak about it yesterday, but we're going to talk a little bit about it today with his potential election interference. So what we found out yesterday was the Georgia Secretary of State, who is a Republican, came out and not only said that Republicans are trying to pressure him and try to swing the election to Trump, but also called out Lindsey Graham by name. Now, I said, what did Lindsey do? What did Lindsey do? Okay, Bria Black says, with the same energy minorities are charged with. Correct. Look into it. Look into that thing. Thank you so much, Bria Black. That's a super comment for everybody watching. That's a super comment. We love to see it. Thank you so much. So Lindsey apparently called the Secretary of State, and there are two versions of the story. There is this Lindsey version of, well, I'm just checking in and, trying to make sure everything is good, especially if we're going to be dependent on mail-in ballots, which I have a point about that. And then there's the version of the Secretary of State who implied that Lindsey was trying to get him to throw ballots out. Now, CNN Manu Raju asked Lindsey Graham today, do you think you ought to be doing that? Now, before we get into Lindsey Graham's point or what he said, my thing is Lindsey Graham trying to investigate mail-in ballots is so full of nothing because Republicans traditionally, historically, have been the ones voting by mail. It was this election that this Republican president encouraged Republican voters to go and vote in person. But for years, Republican voters have been voting by mail. So why all of a sudden Lindsey Graham has an issue with mail-in ballots? Is it because Democrats decided to book up and go get them some mail-in ballots? Because your party has been doing that for years. That is my first point. Second, Lindsey Graham says that, he's just checking in on it and he needs to see, and he's done this before. He called the Secretary of State of Nevada and Arizona. Baby, why the Secretary of State of Arizona came out and said, I have never talked to Lindsey Graham about this election. Don't put me in that. No, ma'am, Pam. No, I didn't have anything to do with those things. Secretary of State of Arizona say, I'm not going to get caught up in no election interference investigation with you. So, there's that. But Lindsey Graham is the Senate Judiciary Committee head, right? He leads the Senate Judiciary. The Senate Judiciary has nothing to do with elections. That is the Senate Rules Committee, which Lindsey Graham is not on. So you going about saying that you are calling for what? It's not your job. It's not your role. So what it sounds like is you were trying to interfere with the Georgia election because there's a special election, or excuse me, there is 2 runoffs coming up in January. And it sounds like you were asking the Secretary of State how he could figure out a way to throw ballots away or disqualify ballots. That's what it sounds like. So me personally, I think that somebody needs to investigate that. Maybe we'll get that when we get a new incoming administration, while they're investigating Trump, because that sounds like election interference to me. I'm just saying. Sounds like election interference. We have another super comment. Let me see here. Shout out to you, Yinka Red. Thank you so much, my dear. It says, no clever message. Just love what you do and choosing to support important voices. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's love. Thank you so much. So, yeah, we need to be looking into what Lindsey Graham was doing and why he feels the need to buck up and go dig around and find out what's going on with the mail-in ballots. Interestingly enough, he's only calling states, if per his words, those 3 states are states that Biden won. He ain't calling North Carolina. Trump won that one. He ain't calling Ohio, where Biden had the lead, and then they started counting mail-in votes, and then Trump took the lead and won the state. Why don't you all have any energy for those states? It's the hypocrisy for me. That you have zero energy for those states. It doesn't make sense. In other Senate news, we found out that one of the oldest Republican Senate leaders, Chuck Grassley, out of Iowa, has tested positive for COVID-19. Now, Chuck Grassley is 87 years old, which definitely makes him high risk. We're definitely praying for a speedy recovery. But it reinforces the notion that one party is not taking COVID seriously, and we're 9 months in. That's a real issue. That's a real issue. I mean, I could go on and on. Thank you so much, Raina Hughes, for the super sticker. I appreciate you, love. I could go on and on about that, but you guys, COVID is a real thing. I don't know. I don't feel like anybody watching right now. Shout out to you. It's about from my tally. It's about 463 of you all watching. Shout out to all 463 of you all that are watching right now. I would dare say you all have heard me say more than enough times COVID is real. I would dare say if you are one of the ones watching that you believe COVID is real, just please wear a mask. I got gloves. My mask over there is my mask. Like, just it's simple. It's simple. But we are praying for a speedy recovery. And my additional prayer would be these people in positions of power, once they get this and come out, it's such a low bar, but still let people who listen to you and who follow you know it's real. I just feel like there's such a responsibility with anybody that's a public what's the word I'm looking for? Not persona, a public person, right? I wouldn't dare come on here and lie to y'all, right? Like I value the fact that you all allow me your ear, because you don't have to listen to me. You can listen to anybody. So that comes with a great responsibility. Y'all are elected officials who, some of y'all have found out about COVID and was trading stocks and moving money and all this other stuff, all the while allowing the person at the top to tell everybody it's not that big of a deal. People are dead. Americans are dead. So I do pray for a speedy recovery, because I don't wish harm on anybody, but I would also pray and hope that in that recovery, you come out on it. We can't change what you did in the past. You will come out on the other side of it and let your people know who have allowed you to have their ear that it's real and that they should do certain things to protect themselves. Low bar. Just a low bar. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on. Before I get annoyed again. Let's move on. So also today, Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, Facebook CEO, let me get a drink. Facebook CEO and the Twitter CEO were down there in front of the Senate today because people are really upset with social media companies. Elected officials are upset. People at large are upset because of several different things. I'll just tell you what I saw. So the Democrats seem to be more upset that these social media companies are not doing enough to combat misinformation. And what's so interesting is the Republicans seem to be upset that they're being censored. One is upset about misinformation not being regulated or not being stopped. The other is upset about being censored. I dare argue that the one that's being censored, it's not that you're being censored, you're the ones that keep lying. So your stuff is getting flagged, like, you know, you're not entitled to your own facts. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to feel a way about a thing, but you're not entitled to your own facts. So, yeah, that was interesting. But they were on Capitol Hill today. I think the thing is these tech companies now, and this one was, you know, Facebook and Twitter. These tech companies are going to run the risk of Congress actually regulating them, because for so long, the tech companies have said that they are not arbiters of truth, or that they're like not a newsroom. They're just a platform, and people get to display all different kinds of ideas, you know, on the platform. They are not like, you know, a TV show or a newsroom that has certain regulations to where it's certain things they can't air out, or they have to, you know, they'll get fined and all this other stuff. And so that may be where they wanted, like how they started it, but there is no denying that social media, I mean, even I have to attribute, you know, my success, it was on social media. So like, social media is much more, it is a platform, but it has developed into so much more. And so I think that there is an onus on the social media companies to relegate misinformation, seeing as how so many of us, not even just in America, around the world, but so many of us are looking to social media for our facts, right? I already said earlier, like, you're not entitled to your own facts, but people will spew stuff out that are lies, that and like it's facts. So I think there's a two-tone onus. There's an onus on the people to make sure whatever they're consuming is true, right? There is personal responsibility, and there is a responsibility on the supplier, if you will, the platform, to make sure that, you know, fake news and propaganda is not being pushed out on that platform. Because here's my thing. You can't say, you know, we're just a platform, but then you decide, like, let's say, I'm gonna say something so heinous. Let's just say somebody is sex trafficking online and live streaming it on Facebook and Twitter. You would rightly take that down, ban that person and the likes, right? So if that's a line, how then is, like, you are picking, the fact that you are choosing where your line is says that you have some type of responsibility, right? Because if you chose to let everything be everything and be like, hey, we're just a platform, we look, then you wouldn't ban certain things that I think that we could all collectively say should be banned. But when you do, this is strictly from a business side, when you do set parameters and ban things, you are now, in essence, taking responsibility for your platform and saying, we don't allow certain things. So if that's the case, if you have a line, how are lies not a line? Like, you're going to have to make it make sense to me. So there is public responsibility on people to fact check what they say. And some people have come back to me, fact check me. I may have misquoted something or something, and I don't have no problem coming back and saying I was wrong. You know, I have zero issues with that. And sometimes some of y'all DM me after the show, or sometimes like before I started doing these live streams, and say, hey, this also happened too, because I might either forget something, or I might not have caught a part of a story, or something developed and I didn't know. I don't have a problem with that. Please do that. I encourage that. That we need all the right information. But it is important that, although you all listen to me and I thank you and I love you, that you make sure what I'm telling you is true, right? Like, I don't want to, like, don't just take my word for it. Go and Google as well. And social media companies there is a responsibility on them to make sure that mistruth is not permeating throughout their platform. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna hop off of that one. Moving right along. Oh, who needs to go to jail? Somebody in the comments. Wait, who needs to go to jail? Let me stick to the show. Let me stick to the show. Also, so yesterday, I didn't talk about it, but we did learn yesterday that Trump plans to pull troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan and leave about 2,500 troops. Now, that was the story yesterday. Today we find out, or I found out today, that he wants to do this 5 days before Biden is inaugurated. 5 days, which is very suspicious. Why you would do this 5 days before? You've had 4 years in your presidency. Why you would do this 5 days before? But what we learned today was some new little tea, okay? What we learned today was some new tea that might open our eyes to why somebody got fired the other week. Now, remember, I reported that Defense Secretary Mark Esper got fired, and he got fired via tweet from Trump. And what we found out today is that Mark Esper apparently warned the president last week not to make this military move, not to withdraw troops, because the situation on the ground does not call for it, right? So this is, well, this is not cold, but this is what they're telling us. If the situation on the ground does not call for it, don't withdraw troops. One can imply and infer that troops are still needed wherever they are. So we found that out today, that he told Trump that last week, and he got fired. So people are starting to ask the question, like, is that the reason he got fired? Did you fire him because he was trying to hold the line and say, you don't need to, like, don't do this. We're not in a position to do this right now. Keep in mind, we're talking about troops. We're talking about military action. We're talking about potentially trying to keep the peace in a certain area, giving up territory to whoever else is over there. So is that why Mark Esper got fired? And then why are you doing it 5 days prior to Biden being inaugurated? It seems spiteful. And I saw somebody who used to work with Trump on the TV today who said that Trump is a vengeful person. And so not only is he doing everything in his power to stop the transition, to make it harder for a Biden presidency, or to make it harder for a Biden presidency to get up and running, but even this pull in, this withdrawal from the Middle East is going to cause a situation that Biden has to deal with when he comes in. And what Biden really just needs to be dealing with when he comes in is getting coronavirus under control. But I'm not too concerned that Biden won't be able to handle it. But it is showing us, I mean, we already know who this man is, but it is showing us who Trump is. Again, you can't claim to love America and then spite her and then put the country and its people in a situation, even outside of COVID, in a potentially disastrous situation, just so it's harder on the next person that's supposed to take that spot. You cannot convince me that you love America. You love you in power in America. That's what you love. And so that's what we found out today, which I thought was very interesting. I am going to be keeping my eye out for that. More conversations about what does that really mean if we pull those troops out? What are the implications of that? That's what I'm waiting to find out, because I think we need to unpack that a little bit more. However, I am comforted that Joe Biden was VP for 8 years to Barack Obama, so this thing ain't new to him. The White House, running the country, international diplomacy, international allies and enemies, none of those things are due to him, right? Those people know him. He's only been gone for 4 years. So him coming in, even though Trump, I think, you know what, even though Joe Biden wasn't my candidate, he's perfectly positioned to take this job right now. Because if Trump would have lost to anybody, he was still, the things we see him doing right now, he was still going to do the same thing. He was still going to delay the transition. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm not a fortune teller, soothsayer, none of those things. Don't believe in that. But there's no doubt in my mind that his behavior would have changed. So he still would have done things to make it harder for the next person. The fact that Joe Biden has been in this position as the number 2 in our country for 8 years, his experience in the Senate, like it or hate it, his experience in the Senate, foreign diplomacy, making laws, deal making, transitioning to 8 years as the number 2, being literally a heartbeat away from the presidency. Again, foreign affairs, international diplomacy suits him for the perfect person for the position. It really does. And Joe Biden wasn't even my candidate. Y'all know I love Lizzie girl. Y'all know I love me some Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren was my candidate. But based on the president we have now and his outgoing temper tantrum, Joe Biden is the perfect person for the time, because he's going to be able to come in day one, no matter all the things that's going to pop off, no matter all the creative things that Trump is going to spur off, no matter all the things that our enemies are going to try to do in this moment of perceived weakness as we transition power. Joe Biden is perfectly positioned because he knows the job. And that's on period. So I'm a little comforted by that. I'm a little comforted that we have somebody that is competent, that can do the job. So I see I had a super comment up. I know you lying, Monica Dixon. Monica Dixon said Q for President 2024. Y'all know I have told y'all about office, baby. I don't plan on running for no office. I don't plan on running for no. I like this right here. I like the communication right here. I know AOC does it from time to time. They say she be over there on that Twitch. They say she does the Twitch. But no, I like this right here. I like this constant communication right here, giving you the information, doing it on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all those things. I will be back to doing that full time. I say 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks, because I'm here in Cabo until Friday, and then I come back home, and we'll still be doing this. I'm definitely going to keep doing these. I'm really enjoying these lives. I hope that you all, if you're enjoying it too, could you put in the comments, yes, you're enjoying it, you like the lives. Let me honestly know what you think. Do you prefer more of the 1 minute quick Instagram, TikTok type of deals? Do you prefer more of the lives? Do you like a combination of both? I'm always interested in it, in what you all think. I am going to do some more of the lives. I'm really starting to enjoy these, writing out full notes and kind of developing this. I would love to really do a whole show type of vibe. Like, this is kind of a show, but I would love to really improve the process a little bit more. So just let me know in the comments. Let me look through these. I see a super comment right here from Dana McCullough. He wants to start a war to prevent a transition or cause chaos when Biden takes over. Even he definitely wants to create chaos, but even if he did that, the transition would still happen. It would just be more chaotic. It would just be literally more chaotic. I think what we are seeing is a man-child having a full-blown temper tantrum because he lost, and doing everything in his power to make it harder for the next person to come in, and spiting the country that he claims to love so much. That's what he's doing. That great old patriot, make America first, but you are doing things to harm her. But make America great again. Put America first. I think we have another super comment. Thank you for that previous super comment. Thank you, Jacqueline Jackie. She says, Q, the trolls are making you lose people in the comments. The trolls are making you lose people in the comments. Oh, goodness. The QAnon people are here? I did not even see that. Child, we got QAnon people in the comments? Please don't listen to them. Please don't listen to them. Let's see. Love the lies, but come back to TikTok too. Definitely will. Definitely will come back to TikTok. We sure will. Y'all, please, again, what did we say in the beginning of the show? Dissent, not disrespect. So if you see somebody that's in the comments that is disrespecting you or trying to disrespect me, first off, I'm not even paying attention to it. I would urge you all to ignore it. Ignore it. Honestly, I'm not feeding energy into that, because that is not a person that wants to have an educated conversation. That's not a person that wants to have civil discourse. That is someone who traffics in hate. That is someone who traffics in unrealistic expectations. And that is not something that I'm going to give my time, space, or energy to. So I would encourage you all to not get riled up. I know some people have said before they don't like, because I've had this on other comments as well. People don't like when people come at me. I don't know if they have in the comments, but they don't like it and they feel like they want to, defend me. Please don't, because I'm not even going to defend me. I'm not going to do it. So please don't. Now, if you see somebody that disagrees with you, that's totally different. Engage with that person. Disagreement is good. Dissent is good. That's how, people have disagreed with me and have brought my thinking, to something else. Dissent, not disrespect. So, that's all I have to say with that one. Let's see. We got another super comment. Shout out to you. Thank you so much, Shannon Collins. Love the hybrids, live shows, and hot shots to us. Keep up loops in. Or I think that meant keep us in the loops. I surely will. Keep y'all in the loop. Thank you so much. I will do that. I think I saw another super comment. Tamika Riley says, I hated politics until I found you. Thanks for making it so interesting and fun. Hey, that's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. Yeah, that's what we love to see. I want people to be engaged in politics. I want people to understand what is happening. I want people to know what the people are doing that are in power, so you all can make educated decisions. Definitely, again, don't just take my word. Google the stuff I'm talking about. Get you some other news sources as well, so you can make informed decisions. But we love to see it, Tamika. Thank you so much. We love to see it. And thank you. Shout out to you, Vivian Palmer. I just got your super sticker. Thank you so much. Guys, you know, the super stickers and the super comments, like I said again, those help me to continue to do what I do full time. Also, scrolling across the screen are other ways that you can support if you wish to. I would love, I love your support. Obviously, it helps me do this. So thank you. Let me just scroll through these and see what we got. Oh, definitely. I will go through and don't worry about it. I'll be blocking the people that are trolling. So it's not an issue. Again, dissent, not disrespect. So the ones that are disrespecting, don't worry about it, baby. They get blocked. It ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. Let's see. Okay, so Fanika Rogers says, love these lives. Great. We will keep doing those things. We surely will. You know what? And people have asked me, where can they get this shirt? Dream like Martin, lead like Harry, fight like Malcolm. I'm going to find the people that I bought it from. This is not any of my merch. I bought this from a company. But I'm gonna look through my email and see if I can find it, and I'll post it on my Instagram, the Q with Q. I'll post it there, and then y'all can go and purchase whatever it is you need to purchase. Also, if you like to buy any of my merch, that link is somewhere in the comment or somewhere in the description of this live. So, guys, I want to thank you all for participating with me. I want to thank you all for being here. I love doing this. We will be back tomorrow. I will give you a time, and I will see you then. A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts.